If you want to book work as an actor in an American production, your American accent has to be perfect. And the one place where a lot of actors forget to use a perfect American accent is in their slate. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to do the perfect slate in an American accent. So first of all, what is a slate? Pretty simple. A slate is the little section before or after you audition where you tell the casting directors or producers your name, often your height, where you're located, sometimes the character you're playing, and sometimes the slates involve you talking about yourself, telling the creatives a little bit about your hobbies, telling them how you relate to the role, certain skills you might have that might help for the role, basically a little introduction about who you are. A lot of times, foreign actors will actually use their own accent in a slate. This can be good and bad. It can be good if you want to show the casting directors that, hey, I'm a foreign actor, and then here's my scene with a perfect American accent. And that's great, but there's one problem with that. A lot of my clients will do that, and what will actually happen is that the casting director will see the foreign accent in the slate and then be looking out for it in your actual audition tape. So they might end up going, oh wow, that guy's or that girl's accent was amazing, but they're not really watching the performance. So I always recommend my clients to make sure you have a perfect American accent in your slate. Sometimes that's easier said than done because we think, okay, I can say my name and my height in an American accent, that's easy. But a lot of times this is where foreign actors slip up. A lot of times this is the part of the audition where people go, oh, you're from Australia, or you're from Britain, or you're from New Zealand, or oh, you've got an Asian accent, or you've 100% got an African accent. So this is where you really want to make sure you harness a perfect American accent. So the number one thing a lot of people have trouble with is saying their name. It's so weird that you have to say your name in an American accent, but you want the casting directors and the producers to understand who you are. You don't want them to have trouble saying your name. And also when they hear it in an American accent, they're going to assume you were just born and bred in America, which is the idea that you want to portray. You might have an exotic name, you might have a name that's easy to pronounce or really hard to pronounce, but whatever it is, we're going to have to say it in an American accent. Now, some clients say, you know what, I want to say my name exactly how it's meant to be pronounced, and that's fine, I'm all for that. But if you really want to convey the fact that you are an American speaker, you've got to use the American accent techniques within your name as well. For example, in my Australian accent, my name would be Ashwin Gore. What I miss out there in terms of the American accent is using that strong American R in the OR sound in Gore. So I would have to say my name is Ashwin Gore. The other thing, the other technique I can use in my name is the diphthong. So the A diphthong at the start of my name. So instead of Ashwin, it's going to be Ashwin. So that A sound is there. So now, all of a sudden, when I say, hi, my name is Ashwin Gore, all of a sudden it sounds American. The other thing you want to really make sure you do, especially with your name, is embellish your name. So really stretch that out. I'm not saying go in slow motion, but I'm saying stretch out the name because remember, Americans embellish the word. So as a foreign speaker, if it takes you 1 second to say a word, it's going to take an American speaker 1.2 seconds to say the word. So remember to embellish your name. The other thing that a lot of people have trouble with is inflection. So for example, many Australian speakers, British speakers have this issue. If you're doing your slate, you want to make sure you don't inflect up, you need to inflect down. For example, let's say I did my slate in an Australian accent. It would be something like this. Hi, my name is Ashwin Gore, I'm 5'9", and I'm located in Los Angeles. So all of a sudden, over there, I'm inflecting up on my name, on my height, on where I am. What that conveys is a lack of confidence. They're going to go, wait, this guy doesn't sound American, but it's also going to give the sense that you don't really know what you're doing. Even if you have 1,000,000 credits under your belt, the moment you slate like that, it just comes across as green or amateur and someone with a lack of power or confidence. So you want to make sure you actually inflect down on your name, on your height, on your location, things like that. So in an American accent, the slate would be like this. Hi, I'm Ashwin Gore, I'm 5'9", and I'm located in Los Angeles. So that's how you want the American accent slate. You would have noticed I was inflecting down on my name, down on my height, down on my location. Now, you can have musicality, of course. You can add a little bit of flavor. You can kind of add your own style and your personality. But when you do that, just make sure you inflect down at the end of your name and the end of other information you are giving. Sometimes if you have to tell them about your hobbies, you might have to use a list of things that you're good at or skills that you have that might apply to the role. So in that case, when you're doing a list, remember you have to inflect down at the end of every list. So for example, let's say a role asked me like what kind of sports I play, right? So I don't want to go, I play basketball and I'm pretty good at tennis and table tennis and sometimes I like swimming, because that, when you're inflecting up, again, it just portrays lack of confidence and it just doesn't come across very strong. So you want to inflect down. So some of the sports I play basketball, tennis, table tennis, dabble in some swimming. So that way you can still add personality, but what you're doing is you're inflecting down at the end of every word. So when you put all of that together, you're going to have a Slate in a perfect American accent. Practice that. Practice your name in an American accent, because a lot of times your name in an American accent is going to be different to your natural accent. It might sound weird to say, but again, if you don't want the casting directors or the producers to know straight away that you're a foreign actor, you must say your name in an American accent. Now, once you book the role, sure, you can say, well, actually, my name is pronounced like so-and-so, and then everyone will pronounce the name as you want it. But if you want to get away with being American in your audition, make sure your slate is perfectly American, whether that slate is going to appear at the start of the audition or at the end of the audition. For the full comprehensive courses on mastering the American accent and advanced application for the American accent, click the link in the description below and look out for the coupon code. For more tips and tricks, make sure you subscribe to this channel, share the videos, and feel free to leave me a comment letting me know what kind of videos you want to see next.